Hey, what's happening? Steve Mayeda here, and I wanted to cover what I've been doing for a little over the past month every day, which is the Wim Hof Method. And here in this video, we're going to cover the breathing. I'm actually going to take you through a demonstration of myself doing it, and hopefully you can do it yourself. And before I start any of this, I've only been doing this for 36 days. I'm not an expert. There are people who've been doing this for years, and I would recommend you buying the Wim Hof course. You can get that at the Wim Hof Method.com. But if not, and if you're like me, I'm looking for all this stuff and I could only find so much out there to get myself started. And then once I did find out how to do it, I was like, man, I got to keep doing this. This is amazing. So I'm going to pull up this video here, and this is a demonstration of me doing it yesterday, actually. And basically what we're doing here is we're doing the breathing with breath retentions. I'm going to take you through one round, just one round. Normally I do 3, and that's super important. On Rogan's podcast, you can find a great example of doing it. However, you don't have to go 3 minutes like him. The retention isn't the most important thing. It's the feeling, and you need to do it 3 rounds, 5 rounds, something like that in order to really get the true feeling of it. So let's go right here. And here what we're going to see is I'm laying down. I've done it in all different ways, standing up, doing it in my squat position, doing it in my standing meditation. But here I'm lying down and I'm just inhaling hard as much air as I can for, as much as I can. I'm doing that 30 times. And when I exhale, it's just a relaxation. I'm not pushing the extra air out. I'm just inhaling hard. Now you could go at a fast pace. You could go to slow pace. Sometimes I do all sorts of different stuff to play around with how the breathing gets me going. Now what happens is you start to get in this euphoric state. And about at the 20th breath, you really start to space out, and everybody's different. Sometimes it might be around the 30th breath. Sometimes that might not even happen then, but for 30 breaths, I'm going to go hard in and just relax out. Okay, so I'm breathing more air in than I'm exhaling out. Now here, when we get to the 30th breath, what's going to happen is I want to retain. So on that 30th breath that we see right here, I'm exhaling most of the air out of my lungs. I'm not forcing everything out, but I'm most of the air out of my lungs, and I'm holding it. I'm holding it for as long as I can. Now, in this example, we just go over a little bit over a minute and a half. And for me, that's normal. Like I said in the Joe Rogan podcast, where you can see a good example of Wim running him through the breathing process, although they pump like a lot more than 30 breaths. And that does make a difference. Basically, he goes for 3 minutes, and you're like, oh my God. Well, some of my friends, their first time doing this, they could go 3 minutes. They could go longer than that. For myself, 1 minute to 2 minutes. The most I've ever done actually is ever 3 minutes. And that was actually from pumping the breaths over and over again. So as I retain, I'm getting in a calm state. Man, it's amazing. At first, there's a panic of like, oh God, man, what's happening here? I need to breathe. There's a lot of tension in my chest, maybe a lot of tension in my throat and in my head from holding the exhale. And then I relax. And it's just amazing. And you get into this euphoric state. Man, at first when I started doing this, I'm like, man, I'm getting high. And I love getting high. It's one of my things, right? But after a while, it stops being about that. And then the panic starts to set in again when your body starts running out of air. Oftentimes I exhale the remaining air out because now I can feel it in my lungs, and, go about 10 to 15 seconds beyond that point. And then I do a big inhale and I hold it for 10 to 15 seconds. And I feel that percolate throughout my body. Now, to do the breathing as I learned it, as it was recommended and taught to me, I did 3 rounds of that. And after that, man, felt great. More alert, more at peace, completely calm. In the mornings, I am not a morning person whatsoever. I wake up not feeling great, happy, any of those things, even after a lot of rest, usually like 6 days out of the week. And I do the breathing and I'm immediately reset. Total positivity, awareness of the world around me. I recommend it to everybody. Now, of course, as you know, in the Wim Hof method, there's all this cold stuff and, there's all these other health benefits. Right now, I mean, not to say that I haven't seen any health benefits and getting sick or anything like that. This hasn't happened. But I don't know what they would be. All I know is that there's something about the cold. There's something about the breathing that I've learned so much from that I see it as an irreplaceable form of meditation. So that's the basic breathing. Do that for 3 rounds. You can do it for 5 rounds. You can do it more than that. And you'll oxygenate all your blood. You'll change the pH in your system. And man, you will feel great. Try it out. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm not the guy to give you the greatest lesson on this. This is just a lesson of my experience of what I've done. And I recommend you go to the WimHofMethod.com and sign up for the course. That's what I did. And I'm very thankful I did it. All right. Thanks for watching.